questions about budget performance is raised in the committee, members of the committee will quickly call for an executive session. Should there be an executive session when you are talking about budget, which should be an open document? When they come up to that session, they will tell you that everything has been harmonized behind closed door. That is one on the aspect of the budget. Then two, you said the House has a timeline for the budget. Can you confirm to us again when is the House looking towards the passing of this year's budget? Then three, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the House passed a resolution asking for 2 months free electricity for Nigerians. After that, nothing happened.
I would like us to take it one after the other. If we want to ask questions on budget, let's round up on budget. Then we'll pick up another issue. Any question that bothered on that issue, we'll take it, and then that way it will be more organized. If you agree with me.
I'm not on that chance.
Now I'll call you again. I'll call you again for the second question. So any question that has to do with budget, let us take it now.
Please, any other question on budget?
One, and if there's any other question on budget, let's take it. If there's none, yeah, thank you very much.
Tribune.
Yeah.
Wait, let's find out.
Is it on budget?
No, it's not on budget. No, but
Okay, I'll call you up on that.
okay.
Let's finish this subject matter. Budget. We'll go to the next one, and then we'll go to general. Okay, that will be more organized. In case if you are recording me. Yes, please.
Yeah, Kenya, I work for Nigerian Trade. In the past, as alluded to by the speaker, we've seen instances where key revenue generating agencies like NMPC, CBN, and the likes, they failed to make public their budget. NMPC that did so after 43 years, which the committee commended. But as we speak, Mr. Chairman, CBN has not done so. CBN has not done so. So we'd like you to speak to this particular issue. What is the fear of the House to exert its powers as conferred on it by the Nigerian Constitution? Any fears, or what is actually happening? Because we've seen agencies in the past, in the 8th Assembly specifically, like SEC, that the House threatened to impose zero allocation. Other agencies want it, and they get their funding, and nothing has happened. Then another issue that I want you to please speak to is the issue of unspent fund. We've not heard anything about unspent fund throughout the entire exercise conducted in this 9th Assembly. No unspent fund was mentioned by any of those committees that we were privileged to attend. Then, Mr. Chairman, service-wide votes. It has never happened in this National Assembly that the executive gives account of service-wide votes. Let me take you to 8th Assembly again, where we have instances of agencies coming to the park committee to report that we saw a lot, we just saw 100 billion in our account, but we don't need it. Please take, return it back to chest. But under this assembly, we just see the service level running to trillions of naira being filtered in. Nobody account for it, and the House kept quiet. Is that going to compromise? And is it not going to be to the detriment of Nigerian citizens?
Thank you.
Of which I'm a taxpayer.
Thank you.
And I need accountability.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You've raised a very good question. I think that's one we can
It's okay on budget.
take on budget now. First, I need to clear I didn't say that the House that we're in a hurry to pass the budget. I said we have a timeline that we set for ourselves, and that timeline had to do with our intention to sustain the new agenda of having the budget go from January to December. You know, if we achieved it last year and we failed this year, it means that it is not sustainable So having achieved it last year, which helped the council, we have decided to make sure that we achieve it again this year. In order to do that, you have to plan. And in planning, program of action against timeline is necessary. So what I said was that we have put the program of action against our timeline, which timeline says that at the end of this month, the budget has to be ready for the January-December calendar to kick in. That was what I said on that. And we are committed to that. And we are doing everything, the committees are working hard to make sure we achieve that. That was why I told you 90% or 99% of those committees have finished their job and have sent it to the Central Working Committee, or Central Appropriation Committee, because the Appropriation Committee has subcommittees that have been attached to the various committees of the House for the purposes of this budget. Now, from the report from that subcommittee, it will now go to report from committee to subcommittee on appropriation, from subcommittee on appropriation to Central Appropriation Committee, who will now do the final work on the budget. So, all these things we are pushing, and I'm saying that the progression of this work is not compromising quality delivery. All right? And that is going to be a room for public hearing where members of the public will bring in their opinion with regards to areas they feel has not been done well. Just like what our friend just raised, some of the things he raised now, these kind of questions also can come up during public hearing, which will also integrate in the act of making that law. Now, the issue on the executive section, I'm surprised hearing this because at the beginning of these budget sections of the House, I was here, and my first interaction with you, you raised a complaint that you were not given access to budget defense room, and I promised that we were going to send words out to the committee chairman to give you access, not limited access, to give you full access to the committee room as long as the COVID protocol that we are obeyed. And I think we'll be able to achieve that. And some of you have visited so many, actually supposed to be in every committee. So as time allowed me, I visited some committee hearings, and I saw that a handful of you, your team, were there, because I know some of you by their faces and names, and sitting up there, I could see an array of reporters covering the hearing. So I think we achieved that. I'm surprised to hear that executive sections were called in at the point of performance reports presentation. And it's strange to me. The ones I visited, I did not see that, because we benchmark the 2020-2021 budget on the performance of the 2020 budget. And most questions are asked based on the 2020 performance to know whether you deserve the 2021 budget that you're asking for, or why you're asking much when you're supposed to ask less, or why that money was not spent, why is it still existing there and you are coming to ask more. So it will be strange for the reporters not to be there when the meat of the whole section is being carried out, because that is the meat of budget defense and presentation. So it's strange to me that I'll investigate more. Nobody authorized that. The leadership did not authorize that people should be excluded from budget hearing during budget performance report. It's strange to me. But I will look into that. Now, the issue of CBN, and I'm happy that my friend mentioned that for the first time in 43 years, that NNPC came and presented their budgets openly. That is to show you the commitment of the Ninth Assembly. We believe that certain things are not achieved just by flexing of muscles and boxing each other. Several assemblies did that, went by force, but we went by reason. And I was part of the team that worked hard to ensure that the NNPC showed a transparent account to the public, that they show more accountability, that they are more transparent, that the public needed them to, tell the world what they are doing in that particular agency. And I'm happy that the MD came himself and he sat there to take questions. I was not there during that program because I was on another official assignment, but I was informed how well it went. And I sent message to the team here through their chairman, asking you to go to the room, I think it was 032, ahead of time to make sure that you cover. I sent, even though I was outside the town, I sent that message to you because I knew Nigerians wanted to hear that, and I'm happy that you are impressed that NNPC was there. Now, what you said about CBN and FIROS on the need for them to be more transparent is true. As a people's parliament, we are on the side of the people, and if the people want to get details, as taxpayers, of what is being done with their fund, I think is the right call. And the feedback I'm taking from this is that we're going to speak to the chairman banking and currency to look into this. And we're also going, somebody raised FIRS. I'm sure chairman finance will also look into that. If we have missed it in this budget, maybe they have presented their report. And I'm sure in the coming budget, it is going to be looked at. But before that, we are planning a sectorial engagement that will bring these heads of agencies to sit with the parliament and people like you to be able to interact on topical issues like this very intelligent one that you raised. And if it is a question on the lips of every Nigerian, then they need to be answered. Because the agencies are there to serve the people. Just like the agencies demand taxation from the people, they are also mandated to respond to the queries coming from the public. And we will use legislative intervention as a heart of the people to make sure that we achieve that. It's a promise, and we're not going to take it lightly. We're going to push because that is what the public is asking. You're not the first one raising this issue. They need transparency, and in good governance, the principle of good governance, transparency and accountability, less opacity is key to raising the confidence of the electorate, the citizens. If you want their confidence in the government, be it legislative arm, the judiciary, or the executive, the more transparent you are, the more accountable you are, the more confidence you raise in the minds of the people, and the more integrity they attach to your office. And that is the desire of the 9th Assembly. And we're going to make sure that we push it through to make sure that it's all hands must be on deck to make sure we deliver on the expectation, the desires, the ambition, the hunger of Nigerians who have elected us. That is it for the budget. Let's have another issue.
Service-wise vote. Service-wise vote.
Service-wise vote. The president has that power given to him by the Constitution to, go